Hi, I'm Josephine reporting for Kids First, and today I have the honor of speaking with Miss Chloe Traicos, writer, producer, and stars in the new film Introducing Jodea, which launches in theaters Friday, June 4th, 2021. Chloe is best known for her award-winning indie film, I Wish I Was Stephanie V, which opened the New York City International Film Festival in 2011. Her second movie, Next Door to the Velinskys, opened the Shanghai International Film Festival of 2011. Hi, Miss Traicos, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So let's get started. You wrote the screenplay for Introducing Jodea, plus you play a role in Jodea. Tell us your inspiration behind this film.
I think a lot of it was inspired by being an actress in Hollywood and how hard it is. And, it was like, I think the initial inspiration came one day when I was running an errand for a producer I was working for. And I was making a script delivery at one of the top agencies, and I was driving around trying to find a parking spot. And I just kept thinking, I was very stressed because I had to get the script there. And then suddenly the thought occurred to me, wow, what if a world famous director drove into the back of my car right now? What would I do? It was just, and that was the start of it. And then things just went from there.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. If I was bumped into a world star movie director, that would be amazing. Oh
yes, I know. And then that's the fantasy. It's a kind of like every actress's dream.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It seems that it could have been difficult for you playing a bad actress. How was it for you?
It's very funny you ask. When we started rehearsals, Jon, the director, said to me, he said, you're acting too well, when I was supposed to be acting badly. And he said, you've got to really overdo it. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, no, this just feels so fake. But it was, I got myself into the mindset, no, this is how Jodea thinks. This is how she thinks this is good acting. And so it was just, you kind of just have to get into the character's mentality in that, she's never really been taught to act well. She thinks this is how you act. So that's what it was like. It was, you kind of like, once you get over the fact that it is over exaggerated, once you're in the moment, it's very doable.
Yeah, I think for me, it would be hard playing a bad actress because you're a good actress. So how can you play a bad actress? But you just have to get into the role, I guess.
Yes, for me, my main worry was doing the transformation from bad to good. I was worried I wouldn't do that convincingly enough. And I could just imagine the critics saying, oh, she started off bad and she's still really bad. That was the more of the challenge, the doing the transformation, how she slowly gets better.
Thank you. So what similarities or differences do you share with your character Jodea?
Well, I think I'm very similar in that we're both very determined. Although she's way gutsier than me, I definitely would never walk into a leading agency and try and get an interview. She has an innocence to her which I don't have. So and I think that's kind of what makes her more likable, is that she thinks, if I just walk into this agency and they see me, they'll give me a chance. And I'm not like that. And then she also is very, also I think we have a similarity in that when, it took me a while to learn the correct method of acting that works for me. And she, and I think, and it was the same with Jodea, it was just, she's not a bad actress, as you see, later on, she just had been taught wrong. And to an extent that was me. I was taught, I went to workshops where they taught me to use the emotional recall method. And when I used that method in earlier movies, my acting absolutely sucked because it didn't, I wasn't as bad as Jodea, but it was, it just didn't work for me. It just, I later worked out later that I'm actually a method actor. So there's that similarity too. And then there's, so there's those similarities, but as I say, she is a much more innocent person than me, which, but whereas, I'm a lot more cynical, a lot more wary of how the industry operates.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So what did you take from life that you put into the film?
What from my own experiences?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know, just having been burned by agents, being told the whole "you're not pretty enough." I brought that into the film. Although, of course, in Hollywood, they never actually say you're not pretty enough. They say you have the wrong look, which is. But I kind of, you know, I had Grant's character, who's the obnoxious agent, basically saying every horrible thing he could have said because it kind of made it funnier. So there was that. There's also, you know, just the whole working other jobs to while you really are supporting your dream. That's another thing we all do. And just, you know, and just also just the things I've observed in the industry, just how it's very much about what sells, what looks good. And, you know, and I have Grant say that, you don't sell movies with good actors. You sell movies with actors who are commercial or something like that. I can't remember the exact line, but yeah, so it was, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that I've seen and experienced, I brought in there.
Okay, thank you so much. Because in the industry, if somebody tells you that you're not pretty enough or you don't look a certain type of way, I think it brings the person down and
Yeah.
it probably they don't want to do it anymore. But Jodea was very determined. Even though Grant said that to her, she still knew that she could do it. So that was
Right.
really,
Yes. Well, yeah, she has that inane belief in herself, which I think to get anywhere in this business, you have to have. And you have to, I mean, Jon, the director, said to me, you know, at one point because we had a lot of getting the film off the ground was not easy. And, but we did it. And, but, you know, Jon said, you know, this industry is kind of like Darwinism. It's survival of the fittest. And it's like, you know, it's if you're gonna be crushed when someone tells you you're not pretty or you can't act, or you can either be completely crushed and go, you know, that's it, this isn't for me, or you can go, well, to hell with it, I'm gonna show him and I'm gonna be good. You know, so it's you know, it's just whichever, you know, it's whichever way you go. And people get told that all the time. It's like it's a very, very cutthroat industry, and it's very you hardly ever get accepted. You go to audition after audition, and it can be very, very, you know, very demoralizing.
it can be hard.
Yeah.
So I got the feeling that Harold secretly liked Jodea. Why doesn't Jodea end up with Harold?
I knew there'd be people who'd say that, because yeah, Harold is the awesome good guy. Yes, he you know, Harold is you know, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I guess I wanted the romance to be between Zac and Jodea. I wanted that to be where the chemistry is. Harold is technically the friend. And he's just, I mean, I guess he's comic. He's kind of like the sort of comic relief character. But yeah, you know, especially Ryan, who played him with such sympathy. And also, you know, you know, Ryan's a very, very good looking guy. I mean, in the initial, I mean, Harold wasn't meant to be good looking. That's the thing. And you know, and also Ryan is, you know, Ryan played him with such sympathy. You know, I said to him actually when we were shooting the scenes, I said, they're going to be a lot of people who are going to want Jodea to end up with you, because yeah, and often sometimes when I watch it, I think, yeah, she should end up with him. He's a good guy. But you know, it's kind of like, I think to an extent, she and Zac are probably more similar than she and Harold are. And I think Harold kind of would need someone who, you know, I think, well, he's a good friend to Jodea. I think he would technically drive her crazy a lot of the time. But whereas, you know, I think she and Zac have that, they have the shared interest, that the shared passion and stuff, which, and I think that, you know, they work well together.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So in the film Jodea has a very difficult bad audition and it's called A Bad Actress. What advice would you give someone in a similar situation?
With who they have I would say, look, you know, it's all a numbers game. And just, you know, just because one audition, you've kind of got to look at, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but I have, you know, one of the jobs I've done while working as an actor was as a telemarketer. And the boss I had was an amazing guy. He's still a very good friend of mine. But he always would say to me, it's all a numbers game. You've got to keep at it, and you're going to eventually make a sale. And that's kind of what I say to people, to actors, you know, you've got to just keep at it, and eventually you're going to get something. But you have to also, you know, be prepared to look and say, well, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong there? Okay, well, maybe next time I should, take a little longer to prepare, or maybe next time I should have an acting coach to prepare me, or, that's just kind of how you have to look at it. And you can't, that's one bit of advice I'd give. The other bit of advice is don't go in there thinking you're going to get the part, because you're going to get disappointed, because the odds are you're not. You have to just go in there not expecting to get it. Then if you do get it, it's great, but just always, keep your options open, and just keep your options open and go for as many auditions as you can.
Thank you so much. Introducing Jodea is such a wonderful film. Thank you so much, Miss Chloe Traicos, for talking to me today. And Introducing Jodea releases in theaters Friday, June 4th, 2021. I'm Josephine reporting for Kids First. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our latest reviews and interviews. Bye.
Thanks, Josephine.
Beat. Introducing Jodea.
You ever see a film called Born in Vegas?
That is the worst acting ever. Have you seen it?
I had the lead role in that film.